What's up YouTube, it's Louis here bringing you today's cryptocurrency video. We're going to take a look at Firo. Thank you guys for being patient. We're going to take a look at a few Firo charts basically, because some are saying different things. I'm going to look at Firo BTC as well. So we're going to start with the Bittrex because this has the most data, but it does have a lot of big wicks, and sometimes a wick on here might not appear on the Binance chart, and so that's why we're going to take a look at both. So if I measure down from here, and if I go to the 4 hour, that's where the actual bottom is and not that wick. And same for up here, that wick over there, I'm not missing them on purpose. When you go to the 4 hour, those are the exact points. I've measured from down here, this swing low to this swing high, to see where is this going to pull back to. So you go and meet the top over here, which was over here, and then you've fallen back to the 0618, or that's what we're doing right now, and you've done that in the past before. And when we got down there to the 0618, you did have a scare to the downside, but you got back above it, confirmed the 55 EMA as support, the 0382, and we're trying to now break this. But before we've done that, you've actually rolled over again, so you could be performing this potential double bottom. A lot of people might be saying this is an M pattern as well, but it's all about losing that 0618. So if you do lose this 0618, then we're going to create that reverse wave and this M pattern will come into play. And if you do lose the 0618, you're most likely going to come to the one sitting at $3. And so if that were to happen, you'd have actually a technical target down at the 1618 at $1.36, and I would like to exit my position before it were to go down there. And if, depending on Bitcoin, if we're still in a bull market, which we are in, because to go into a bear market you need a blow off top, just the same as how do we get a bull market, you need to have a bear market, you need to go down disgustingly to have that massive pump. Or once you go up vertically like this, then that's what sends you down a lot. So to go into a bear market, you need a blow off top. To go into a bull market, you need a bear market. Also, what else is going to send you into a bull market is, or like an extended one, is if you're already in one and you've been consolidating, just like we are for 12 months for Bitcoin. We've been consolidating for 12 months now. Once we're out of that consolidation period, we're going to fly. Think of it like this. You've had part one, which was last year. So November, like when did it kick off? From September all the way until like January, February, and then we went sideways for the entire year until December. Once we're out of this consolidation period, that's part two of the bull run basically, where we're going to go crazy, just like we were in the first part of the bull run when we went from September from like 10k to like February at 65k. So we're going to see something similar like that in terms of percentage gains and whatnot. So but as long as Bitcoin can hold key levels of support, I want to see that 1414 on the weekly time frame hold. So I'm going to take a look at the monthly for Firo with you guys, and on the monthly time frame you can see, well, that 0618 sitting at $5.12, so we want to hold that. Why? Because our low is over here. If we close a monthly below this, I'll be looking to exit my positions, because you would be putting a lower low on the monthly time frame. Now a lot of times you've come to this zone and you've kept on failing to go below. You have gone below, but you cannot close below $5.20. So this is a very strong layer of support. So even if you're coming down here, I wouldn't sell. Why? Because you have to wait another 21 days for the monthly candle close. So as long as it closes in 21 days above this zone over here, then I won't sell basically, because yes, you are up below the 20, but if you don't back test it as support, look what's happened in the past. You come down, lost the 20, got back above it, lost it, got back above it, and confirmed it as support. And this is why I do believe that this over here could be a shakeout. Why? Because a lot of the time your candle will go in one direction first and then go the opposite way, just like this green one. You went down first and then became a green candle. So it likes going one way first, and then like to manipulate you to thinking, oh yeah, we're going up, and then out of nowhere we're going down. So it's just market manipulation, because the market is here to make most people lose most of their money most of the time. So that's why it's all about experience and not timing the market, but spending time in the market, the famous saying. So it's all about closing a higher low above this on the monthly time frame. Once this closes, even if it is below the 20, I wouldn't sell. I would want to see the next month close below the 20. If the next month closes below the 20, hitting it as resistance, then yeah, I'll look to exit my position to see if Bitcoin's still in a bull market, if it's holding key levels of support, and if we are just dipping, I'll look to try and re-enter Firo. But I would be taking my money out and just sitting on the sides, but I will obviously keep my eyes on Firo even if I've exited it. Perfect. I hope you understood that. So let's take a look at the daily time frame now. So yeah, it's all about this 0618 to be honest. You had such a nice bounce over here from there. Found support on the 382, gone up to the 0. Couldn't quite break it. That's why you come down and found support on the 382 as well. You hit your head on the 236 over here, creating this head and shoulders. And of course this has a nasty technical target, which I've given you many weeks ago, maybe even months ago, where look at that. That would take you, so as long as you've broken this neckline over here, you are on a technical target to this basically. But if you can hold that 0618, we can have a nice bounce, and if you do break back above the 382, so what we want to see is something like this. And if we can hold that 382, you're invalidating further downside, and that target is at $2.34. And we would be going there anyway if you lose that 618, because you're creating that reversal wave, which would take you to the 1. But I wouldn't expect the bounce from here. I would expect the 1 to actually break below the 1 and then come to the 1618. So that is like a pattern basically telling you, this head and shoulders basically telling you that that is what's the pattern that's going to take us down there basically. But of course it can be invalidated, and what we saw over here, which I went through maybe a month ago or so, is the same thing where we had a head and shoulders, but you never met the technical target. And that's why months ago when I showed you this head and shoulders over here, I wasn't certain it would meet the technical target. So the neckline for that is the same as this one, the 382. And of course history don't repeat itself, but this is why I think that it does rhyme sort of. So that's why I potentially see that we could invalidate this, because saying, look at it, very similar target to the downside. You met your you didn't even meet your technical target, sorry, you met the 0618 and had a bounce, got back above the 382. When you confirm that as support over here, that's when you invalidated further downside. Now of course lose the 382 again, which you have, and you back test it as resistance on this chart you have, but I'm going to show you the Binance chart where you haven't actually had this wick in a second. But yeah, as long as you're below this 382, and if you hit your head on it, then we are going to roll over, and if you lose that one, you're coming to the 1618. So let's look at Firo on the Binance chart right now. So on the Binance chart, you don't actually have those massive scam wicks, but these are the true resistance points on the 4-hour time frame. This is the daily, but this is your true resistance and support points. So swing low to swing high. Over here, you've actually lost the 0618, but where you bounced before was that 786. So this chart's a little bit different. I want to see that 0786 for this chart, which is in the same location, $5.08. So it's just all about holding 5 basically. If not, you're putting in a lower low on the monthly, on the weekly, on the daily, on the 4-hour, and everything basically. So you have come down to retest this W double bottoms neckline over here. So we could just be doing that again. And let's get your technical targets out of that head and shoulders over here. Look, instead of the 382, in this case it's the 0.50, but you can see you didn't meet your technical target, which was at the 1 over here. And for this head and shoulders, the neckline's the same, 0.50, and this is why I don't think that the technical target will be met, because of the last time having the bounce from the 786. And look, this is acting as confluence in this chart, because the 1618 just sitting at roughly $2, and this will take you to $1.70. So I think in the short term I'm going to look at this chart a bit more often, because again, when we looked at the weekly, you had that massive wick to the upside, but here you haven't. It's just this chart doesn't have as much data as the other one, and that's why I prefer to use that one. But again, this one's not having those crazy wicks like the other Firo chart. Let's look at Firo BTC. Oh, Firo BTC, the Binance one. So there's multiple things that can happen now. So we've had this impulse down, and then I'm going to put that fib on. You've had this impulse down from here, swing high to swing low. Let me delete this for a second. You've come to the 0618 and you've got rejected. Now what this means is that you should lose this low, because the Fibonacci's are meant to be used like this: impulse, correction, continuation. And if we put on the previous fibs, measuring from here to here, it'll give you a technical target all the way down to the 1618. So if you lost this low, something like this would happen at that, and that would be a technical target down there. And if you do lose that low, you'd lose another, like against Bitcoin, but let's just say that would happen on the normal chart as well. It would be minus 64%. Now, because we measured from here to here, if I delete this for a second, you can see that we have lost the 0618, which means that we are starting to make that reversal wave basically. But with that reversal wave, this does look like a potential double bottom, and this area over here is looking like Bitcoin on the, if you look at Bitcoin on May and June and July time, how it bottomed out, it is kind of looking like this. I'm not quoting it exactly, but it's just looking similar to that. I'm not saying that it is that, I'm just saying it is looking similar to that. So I have posted about that earlier on today, where I was talking about how Solana is also looking like what a bit even more like what Bitcoin did back in May, June, July. So have a look on my Twitter and have a look at that Solana post basically. So again, if you lose this low, we'll come to the 1618 and have further 64% dump once you lose that low on Firo BTC. But I think that this is actually an area of support, because when you came down to that 786, you've been bouncing off it, and this was just where the bottom of the impulse is. Once you got back above the 786, you confirm that support. So we could be creating a double bottom. And what I do like about this location is that the previous fibs, you can see the 0618 and the 786 is up here, and this is where you got rejected from. So actually, if you can break above the 0 / the 0786 on the weekly, or on the daily, this level over here for Firo Bitcoin, then we would see an impulse all the way to the 1618. And once you were to break this, you would have an impulse of 490%, and that from current price, if we looked at it from current price, that would be a gain of 2,166%. So we'll take a look at that back on the Firo chart now. Firo USD. So let's say we lost that low. Let me go back to see what it was. So that's December. Okay, Firo USD. So that's saying if you lost this low, you're gonna have further 64% dump. But I do think already, if you're losing this, is it this low on the monthly? Yeah, $5 on the monthly. Then we are gonna roll over. And look, that will coincide with you meeting down here, because look, that's the technical target out of that head and shoulders pattern down here, where it would say that if we lose that December low, we're going to roll even further on the Firo Bitcoin chart. So let's say from current price, we do go up from here. Let's say 460%. Let's see, that would be around $30, which is lining up, I think, with that larger 0618. If we look at the top here, back down to here. Yeah, look, the 0618, if we're looking at the bear market, is sitting at $30, and that will coincide with that Firo chart that we're seeing. But if it does shoot up, what was it, 2,100%, that would be a gain, well, obviously, of that. And then your technical target for Firo would be $121, and that will coincide with that we measure from here to here. I don't know if this is the exact levels, but yeah, it is that. So look, your 1618 is sitting at 90 if we're measuring the dip from here to here, and we need to work our way all the way back above $11 basically. Once we're above $11.50, you should start heading up minimal 30, but of course we have to break this first, but minimal 30 and potentially to the 90, maybe even an overshoot to this target sitting at $121. So I hope you understood today's Firo update. I know there was a lot to take in, but as long as you understood it, or if you didn't understand it, just watch the video again. Perfect. I hope you enjoyed this video. We know we need to stay above $5 and break back above that head and shoulders neckline. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll catch you in the next one. And as always,